Good day, everyone. How are you today? By the way, I am MA.FE CABAYLES. I will be reporting to you the critical theory and eclecticism. What are the goals of education, the role of the teacher, the methods of instruction, as well as the curriculum when it comes to these two approaches. Let us learn here how these two approaches affect our educational system. First, we have the objectives. After this presentation, we will be able to know the nature of critical theory and eclecticism in education. Second, to give emphasis on the goal of education, role of the teacher, the methods used, as well as the curriculum pertaining to critical and eclectic approach. Last, to illustrate the advantages of eclectic approach in education. What does it mean, critical theory? Critical theory, it is an emblem of philosophy which questions modern social and political life through a method of eminent critique. In other words, critical theory, it is a philosophy that involves being critical in the prevailing view of the society. In many cases, it looks closer at the beliefs that might favor privileged people like rich, white men over other people, right? It is also a theory of society conceived with a practical intention. It is also offers an opportunity and understanding to the different perspectives of the disadvantaged members of the society. What are the goals of education when it comes to critical approach? First, to understand and to help overcome the social structures through which people dominated and oppressed. According to one of the philosophers of this critical approach, it should consist of three criteria. It must be explanatory, practical, and normative. It must explain what is wrong with the social current reality, to identify the actors to change it, and of course, to provide both clear norms for criticisms and achievable practical goals for social transformation. Next is to produce the rationally autonomous individual. People of the society should know how to speak, should know how to criticize the theories, the principles, and even the situations that everyday uses in their lives. Now, the last one is to promote democratic equality. When it comes to democratic equality, all citizens of a particular society enjoy the equal human rights, the basic liberties, and opportunities regardless of their social status. I have here a picture of pragmatism and a critical theory. Let us see the difference between these two philosophy, or these two theories. When it comes to pragmatism, it tends to reject the universalizing concepts found in idealist and realist metaphysics. While the critical theory, it seeks to spark public debate over education. Pragmatists only believe that reality is constantly changing. They learn best through applying their own experiences and thoughts just to solve the problem. But the critical theorists are more focused on seeking the truth and making an argument that is beneficial for all. What are the roles of the teacher in critical theory? I have listed 4 important roles of the teacher in this critical approach. First is to encourage students to question and challenge existing beliefs, structures, and practices. We teachers should give our students an opportunity to ask and validate their existing beliefs and practices through their own assumptions in a non-threatening manner. Let them think outside of the box, of course, and let their mind expand to any possible ideas. Second, avoid offering how to do it approaches. We teachers tend to use the spoon-feed approaches to our learners and not giving them the chance to explore and discover something through their own. So we keep on saying to our students that this is how you will do this and this is how you will do that. But in terms of this critical approach, we must avoid this kind of approaches in order for them to learn through their own. Okay? Third is encourage students to be sensitive to the feelings of others. So we teachers encourage our students to have a broad mindset in understanding the other person's point of view. Since we are all unique individual having a different perceptions in life, but we should build a respect to the opinions of others. Next is the last one. Provide opportunities for inquiry by giving students time for planning, processing, and debriefing. So we teachers should give enough time to our students to think clearly about the topic, logically and practically, and evaluate their acquired informations. Alright? So next is, I have here 6 teaching strategies that promote critical thinking skills. Start a class discussion by asking an open-ended questions. Next, give students time to think things through. Ask students to look for patterns and connections. Show students a vague picture to get them thinking about their own assumptions. Teach them the difference between opinions and factual statements. And the last one is to remind students to be open to conflicting views. So let us explain this one by one. So first is start a class discussion by asking an open-ended questions. So as we all know that open-ended questions are questions that have more than one answer. So make sure to emphasize to your students that there are no right or wrong answers. So let them know that there are only opportunities to learn, and some answers may be better than others. So this will allow them to critically and creatively think, and without fear of getting anything wrong. Okay? Next is give students time to think things through. So narrow thinking usually often the result of giving an answer. For classroom discussion or in class assignments, we should give our students time to think before they propose any ideas. Okay? The third is ask students to look for patterns and connections. So across various subjects of study, we encourage your students to look for patterns and connections into the real world. For example, environmental themes. So it may come up with history, the science, art, and literature. Next, number 4, show students a vague picture to get them thinking about your own assumptions. So let us show our students something a bit vague and let them guess what's wrong with the picture. In this way, they are able to visualize or able to know what's happening on the picture. So let them show an imaginative thinking, or let them students think critically about the picture. Next, number 5, teach them the difference between opinions and factual statements. So teach your students that any claim they make is considered an opinion until they can provide evidence about it. So this evidence might be an experiment they conduct, or something that is came from a reliable informations published by the experts. And the last one, remind students to be open to conflicting views. So your students may be tempted to focus on sources that agree with their points of view, but this will only limit their ability to think critically about the issue. So instead, let us encourage our students to learn about the both sides of the debate and stay open to any opinions. So this will allow them to learn as much as possible about the topic before deciding where they stand. Okay? So let's proceed to curriculum in terms of critical approach. So there are two, the formal curriculum and the hidden curriculum. So in terms of formal curriculum, it consists of common skills and usual subjects, while the hidden curriculum, it consists the values, the views, and behavior. So let me show you some example of this formal and hidden curriculum. So under the formal curriculum are math, science, English, and IT. But in hidden curriculum, it talks about gender rules, the competition, the routine dress code, the achievements, and the obedience. So hidden curriculum more focused on the values and the behaviors of a particular individual. So there are importance of critical thinking in teaching and learning. Okay, first, it improves the quality of teaching. So we can say that there is quality in our teaching if our students are actively participated in our classroom discussion and cooperate with the classroom discussion. Okay, next is it helps both the learner and the teacher to understand the arguments and beliefs of others. So this will allow us to understand the essence of arguments in a particular topic and stay open to any opinions coming from the others. Alright? Next is critically evaluating those arguments and beliefs. So after knowing the both sides of the arguments, we critically evaluated or shall I say substantially making an argument about the topic that is advantageous or beneficial for all. Then the last one, it helps them develop and defend their own well-supported arguments and beliefs. So it will help our students in making a reasonable and defensible decisions in supporting their own arguments and beliefs. Next, let's go to the eclecticism. So what does it mean, eclecticism? So we have here a definition. Eclecticism is a conceptual approach that does not hold rigidly to a single paradigm or sets of assumptions, but instead draws upon multiple theories, styles, or ideas to gain complementary insights in a subject, or applies different theories in a particular cases. Okay? So, in other words, eclecticism offers a different sets of concepts, ideas, and principles to make a complete philosophy. So, it is also a fusion of knowledge from all sources. So, a kind of educational philosophy which combines all good ideas and principles from various philosophies. Okay? So, we have here an illustration of an eclectic interior design. So, as you can see from the picture, there are different styles, the mixing and the matching of colors, the contrasting textures to create a cohesive and beautiful room with harmony. So this is only emphasizes that this one beautiful concept is coming from a different styles and patterns just to create this beautiful eclectic interior design. Alright, next is, so what are the aims of education in terms of eclectic approach? So we have here to educate the child for individual progress, development, and social service, and to develop the child intellectually through the variety of learning styles, principles, and ideologies. So it is only to fully develop the child in terms of physical, emotional, and intellectual well-being of a conscious individual. So what are the rules again of the teacher in terms of this eclectic approach? So teacher should possess flexibility and adaptability. So why flexibility and adaptability? So flexible in a sense that teacher should aware of the range of available techniques to exploit materials better and manage unexpected situations. So adaptable in a sense that teacher should always be adapted to change, of course, giving the students an ample sets of learning activities in most diversified concepts. So in short, it allows teachers to select among the variety of approaches, methods and techniques that those elements best suited to the needs of a given class at a given time. Then, so what does it mean, eclectic approach? Eclectic approach is a method of language education that combines various approaches and methodologies to teach language depending on the aims of the lesson and the abilities of the learners. So it is also a different teaching methods are borrowed and adapted to suit the requirements of the learner. So it only gives eclectic approach only gives an emphasis on the various principles, theories, and concepts, or the different teaching strategies or the methods depending on the needs of the diverse learners. So what are the advantages of this eclectic approach? So I have listed 4 advantages. First, learners become attentive and responsive. So if learners have a variety of choices to learn, it helps them develop self-interest and become responsive in a class discussion. Second, it offers multiple opportunities to students to develop their own skills. So we have diversified learners, of course, that's susceptible to opportunities to learn and develop their own ability or their own potential, your hidden potential. Okay, next is to enhances active participation. So eclectic approach allow our learners to acquire knowledge through different teaching styles that will best suit to their taste and have a chance to actively participate in a class discussion. And the last one is it breaks monotony. So what does it mean, breaks monotony? So this approach also eliminates boredom in the classroom by integrating various sets of activity, of course, and not being stuck in a one single concept of strategy. That's what we call the monotony. Okay, so I think I have done with my reporting. I hope you learn from it, and thank you so much for watching.